almost died on the field.
I remember all the way from when I got hit to the part when they put the anesthesia on my face.
We knew that it was internal injury. As far as the severity, we had no idea that it was as severe as it was.
They cut me from a little bit, like right here, all the way down below my belly button. And they opened me up, and they saw that it was my vena cava vein. It was tore, so Dr. Alvarado stitched me back together, sewed me back up.
Line, this could be a pick six for Hayden. Inside the 30, and he will take it to the house.
Let's get to the fact of the matter here. He's a great football player. His 2011 film is off the charts.
I've never seen a guy go from close to death and then being drafted 6 months later.
He took a hit, he almost died right there on the field, and now we're talking about him potentially going at the end of the first round.
It wouldn't be completely out of the realm of possibility for DJ Hayden to go from lying on a gurney to the first round. It'd be an amazing transformation, but it's completely possible.
Cuts it back across the field for a big play. He's at the 25, the 20, 10, 5, touchdown St. Joe's.
Kyle was a very special person.
Kyle was by far away the best person I ever knew.
Guy that I always looked up to, tried to, be like him.
He touched so many people when he was alive. We didn't want that to end. So we started this foundation to raise money to support, different awareness education programs that we thought could really benefit, teenagers and young adults who might be struggling with the same, things Kyle was going through with depression.
Used to be one of these things, you don't want to talk about it. You don't want to give people ideas. Having individuals come into the schools and talk about their own experiences with depression helps demystify and destigmatize.
Spread the message that it's okay to say, I think something's wrong.
Now's the time you should be talking.
In his mind, he was a 6'5" giant, and he wasn't. He was 5'10", 165, 175 pounds, and but he was a beast on the field. He had a relentless determination, and he lived his life that way on and off the field.
Believe it or not, when we first started playing, me and Nick told my parents, we made a bet with them at that young of an age, we're going to go play Division I together. We're going to get full scholarships, and that dream came true for about 2 weeks.
I'm very happy that Nick did start the foundation.
I'm so thankful.
Because it's our therapy. As weird as that sounds.
I don't know what we'd do if we didn't have this.
I think he is overseeing all this stuff because we don't have any experience in nonprofit, anything of this nature that we're doing. We're just a family that is committed to him and doing everything we can to be able to make his dream and his vision come true.
Luke was the first pick in the draft coming out of Maryland. He had great court awareness. He understood what his players could do. What I think about Luke was kind of a career that was cut way short due to drugs and stuff he was doing.
I think as I look back over my life, my goal was to get there. And once I got there, I said, now what? Once I got to play against the stars that I had admired coming up through college, I went, now what? And I think what happened for me was once I reached the goals of an athlete, it was, now what? What's next? It wasn't anything higher than a pro. So that really is what probably ran me into some of my addiction, was because I went from, now what? I played these games. In my first year, we went to the finals of the conference and lost to the Sixers. Now what? So, I think that's where my addiction for drugs and alcohol started really coming out, because now I was like, is this it?
Super passer, fantastic leader. I'm going to miss him.
He had a heck of a role. Here we had all these guys who like to shoot the ball, and he had to be the guy to keep everybody happy.
Well, John's, his one of my best friends, and I hate to see him go.
I pull up at the stop sign, and when I pull up, I see my sister and a co-worker or somebody that she worked with, standing outside at the stop sign talking. So I put the car in park, and missing me doing that, I was shot in my shoulder. but I didn't really know I was shot at first. You know, I just heard the noise. You know, it was like kind of a shock. You know, I've been nothing but a good person since I can remember. I didn't expect nothing like that to happen to me, and I didn't expect nobody to be wanting to do that to me. I can't lie, I did question why me, because things was going so great for me. It's a minor setback for a great comeback.
That's an easy option.
One of the great enigmas in professional sports.
We're not grading on a curve.
They need to do a lot of work.
He did not have his best year.
Too many things going wrong. C minus, D plus.
Biggest colossal failure. That's just the biggest colossal failure that this organization is. I mean, you look at what was left over from Jerry Angelo and somehow they made it worse.
You know, you'd say it's laughable, but in Chicago, this won't be laughable.
You had a coaching staff and a coaching situation that made the whole less than the sum of the parts.
It was a failure across the board.
This is honestly, it's not the Bear way. I mean, this whole season is not the Bear way.
Phil Emery seemed to exert too much control, and Mark Trestman not enough.
Phil was more of a scout or maybe a director of college scouting that was masquerading as a general manager, much like Trestman was probably a quarterback's coach masquerading as an NFL head coach.
His reputation was he really wasn't up to the game day job, and ultimately that's kind of what undid him a little bit.
We're not a very good football team right now, obviously.
When Aaron Cromer made his comments about buyer's remorse and all the Jay Cutler frustration, the whole thing seemed to wobble.
I just want to say I made a very poor decision.
Who's holding the reins up here?
When I think about cornerstones to build upon the future, I think of three guys. Kyle Long, I think of Alshon Jeffrey, and I think of Kyle Fuller. This is a teardown. There's no other way to put it.
The Bears are not viewed as much a train wreck around the league as they are by some people in Chicago.
This team is, I'd say, 2 to 3 years from legitimately competing for a playoff spot.
She's pissed off. I can't think of a 91-year-old woman that description would apply to, but in this case, I can't think of a more accurate description.
20 years from now, they're going to be playing that soundbite. That you're going to be seeing that video. It was great.
Fans so often want to see the coach embody their passion for the team. They want to see it. You saw it. You saw it there from the chairman of the board.
I don't like being with big crowds sometimes. I don't mind talking to a big crowd sometimes, but I'm not going to hang out with you for a long period of time. It's just not something I'm interested in.
Those with Asperger's typically can become obsessive and intensely focused on a single goal, but they can struggle to develop friendships, and that made Nick an easy target for bullying.
It was tough. I would get home and be emotionally drained. I used to, let's say I was having an argument with my brother, I used to take my anger out on him by yelling sometimes. I used to cry sometimes.
Asperger's is passed down from the male gene. His younger brother Noah does not have it, but Nick's father Donald does. Donald was a 2-time All-Big West first-teamer at Fresno State and was drafted by the Philadelphia 76ers. But success didn't come easy. Donald faced the same ruthless bullying his son endures.
You kind of fast forward to Nicholas, and he's being diagnosed with it, and I'm having to educate myself now. What is it? What are the symptoms? How can I help him? What do I need to do? I'm doing something wrong. I've got to fix this. I've got to help him. I don't want him, and that was my biggest thing. That was my biggest thing, is I didn't want him to go through what I went through.
Through the pain, the Masons refused to let Nick's obstacles become roadblocks.
Nicholas likes Nicholas, and Nicholas is okay. He understands that it's okay to be different. He always says to us, he's like, Mom, the difference between me and a lot of other people is that Asperger's, they've diagnosed me with having Asperger's. I know what's wrong with me. He said, I know a lot of people who walk around that have issues and no one has diagnosed them. So he said, so everybody has something, Mom. I've just been diagnosed with mine. And I said, you're absolutely correct, son.
You're just gonna go through